And welcome back to Giving Tuesday. Our theme today is Love More, Give More. And we are blessed to have the presence of foster care coordinator Kelly here on my right. She also brings a little girl named Yeti to the ball game. On my left here is volunteer and super foster parent Dan. And today these two fine people are going to talk about our foster program. Kelly.
So Dan, you're relatively new to our foster program. We're grateful to have you on the team. Tell us why you decided to become a foster.
Well, it probably sounds a little bit odd for someone who's volunteering at an animal shelter, but I've never owned a dog in my life. When I started volunteering here, um, I wanted to do more, and it's our ability to give back. As you well know, the more you give, the more you receive. And we've certainly found that with the foster program, in that we receive an awful lot more than the dogs ever do.
Absolutely. So, as a foster parent, which animal has impacted you the most?
That's kind of like asking which kid you like the most, isn't it? I suppose. We've Fern was my first dog, and honestly, we only had Fern for 5 days, but she was very shy. She had been a dog that was abandoned after giving birth, and she was so shy and so reticent that she kept going off into different rooms of the house. So we were very slow with her, but I remember laying down on the floor with her and just cuddling her for hours at a time. And eventually, excuse me, it took a few days, but she came out of her shell, and she got to know us, and we got to know her, and she started to become a part of the family. And then I remember distinctly bringing her into the shelter, and Randall came out to the car and got her and brought her to the prospective gentleman that was going to adopt her, and she got adopted right away. That they fell in love, and I swear to God, I walked away and I burst into tears. So she had a huge impact.
She was a great dog.
And of course, America, Finley, remember that you're saving an animal because you're rehabilitating them and teaching them so much, and at the same time, you're getting that much love in return. So
absolutely,
give and then receive.
Exactly.
Fantastic. All right, Dan, your turn.
So Kelly, you have the very unique challenge of coordinating all of the foster families for CCAS. So what would you say is your favorite thing about this, and then what's the most challenging?
So my favorite part about coordinating all of the foster families here at the shelter is the day that they pick up the foster. My favorite thing is when we load up all the supplies and we load up the foster animal into the foster family's car, because I know that they're going home to a home environment. They're going to go be on a couch. They're going to get lots of love and attention. They're going to have that familiar surrounding of the home environment. For some of them, that's critical. To have it's calmer for them. It helps them decompress and lowers their stress levels. So that's my favorite part, is the day that the foster gets picked up and goes into foster care. The most challenging part, I would say, about being the coordinator here is that a lot of our foster families are seasonal residents, and they don't live here in the summertime. So summertime is puppy and kitten season, when we have an abundance of underage animals that need to go to foster. So that's kind of a challenge. So if anybody out there is a year-round resident, please consider fostering.
So what would you say to someone, like myself, who was considering being a foster family?
I would say it's easier than you think. Please give it a try. And it's incredibly rewarding. You will learn more than you ever thought you would about yourself, about animals. We're always learning from the fosters, and it's not just what it gives to you personally. It really brings something to the whole family. The whole family will benefit from the experience of fostering.
So you get to see the financial considerations up close and personal. So what does it take to run a successful foster program, and what would you say to the generous people in our community that of how they can help the program if they can't foster an animal themselves?
Right. So the shelter provides all of the supplies for fostering, every single thing: food, bowls, toys, beds, crates, X-pens, kitten tents, milk replacer, snuggle kitties, snuggle puppies, heat discs. it takes an enormous amount of supplies to take care of all of the animals that go out to foster, and a lot of these items are extremely expensive. So anything that anybody can donate really helps us out. These particular items, it's not enough. These items help the animals survive, but we want these animals to thrive, right? We want them to survive this experience of, whatever they came from, whatever reason that landed them here in the shelter, and we want them to go on and thrive. And it's especially important with our orphans. Our orphans are very much at risk, the orphan animals. And so that's why Giving Tuesday is so incredibly important, because if you guys can provide to the donations, we've got plenty of love. We've got the love to give them, but we need the resources to help save them all.
I've got a question for you. A lot of people don't realize that in addition to being the foster care coordinator, you also foster yourself and quite extensively, and sometimes very much in a challenging manner. I'm talking about bottle feeding kittens, which was completely new to you. Can you tell us about one of the most impactful situations with bottle feeding some foster kittens?
So my first foster kittens were when the shelter first opened. I had never held a kitten until I came to this shelter. I'm a dog person, but now I'm an animal person. I don't say dog person, I just say animal person. There were 2 kittens in intake that were literally 3 weeks old and bag of bones. They were like little tiny bags of bones, skeletons. They were completely emaciated. They were covered in fleas. They had been found on the side of the road, and when I went up to the kennel, they reached through the bars towards me, both of them. And that's how I became a kitten foster. I'm sorry. It was one of the most powerful things that ever happened to me in the foster environment. And I fostered them, and they got better, and they gained weight, and I learned so much from them. But that's when I learned that I'm not just a dog person. I'm an animal person.
Sometimes life has to kick us in the head to change our course.
Yep, now I love kittens.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Dan, for being with us today on Giving Tuesday. We'll be back. Love more, give more.